Story 1. My straight mom fell in love with my teacher. Throwaway account for family and friends who usually use Reddit. For some context, my dad passed away when I was young in a car accident, exactly when I was 4. So she tried hard to make sure we had a good life. My mother worked in various places until she got a well-paying job, which is the one he currently works on. We both grew up in a somewhat conservative area where homosexuality, not that it wasn't frowned upon. There were LGBT people, and they were completely accepted, but there were families who didn't like the idea of homosexuality too much. My mother grew up with that mentality. She didn't hate the LGBT idea, but she certainly disliked gay couples a bit. One time we saw a gay couple in a mall, and she said something like, they shouldn't do that in public, much less kiss. During my childhood and adolescence, she had several boyfriends. Her longest relationship lasted almost 5 years. I really liked the guy because we used to play Monopoly and various video games. Luckily, we still talk because he's one of my mother's best friends. But they both decided to take different paths and had to separate. Now, or months ago, a year ago, I started going to a gym near my house. She began to notice my physical changes. It crossed her mind to go to the gym with me. Until several months ago, he started going to the gym. After thinking about it a lot, after months, she lost a lot of weight and improved physically. I noticed several guys from the gym looking at her carefully. Something that made me laugh is when she shows off her six-pack to me, and how now she says she doesn't need me to open the jars or jam or pickles anymore. In September, she signed up for the spinning class with the other ladies. At first, she only went in the morning, but after 4 weeks, she also went in the evenings. My mom told me that she had become friends with Jennifer, the spinning teacher, not her real name. Some weekends, she let me know that she was going out to eat or run with Jennifer. This is how their relationship continued. There were times when my mother spoke with Jennifer for several moments on the phone or on WhatsApp. I began to suspect my mother's feelings towards Jennifer when one day they went out for a run, but it started to rain. I heard from the noises that they came running and stood next to the roof on one side of the entrance. I looked out my window and saw them both outside the house. Jennifer and my mother were laughing, and I saw my mother's face completely red and nervous, like when she was with her boyfriend before. Jennifer's face was the same as my mother's. Then they gradually stopped their conversation and looked at each other. I saw my mother look Jennifer in the eyes and then shift to other parts. They both started to get closer, and for a moment I thought they were going to kiss, but they both stopped. At that time, I was sitting in my room looking out the window. Through my window, you can clearly see the entrance to my house in the garden. Then my mom and Jennifer came home. I greeted them both. Jennifer and my mom looked a little uncomfortable, and then Jennifer left. I asked my mom if something had happened because her face was red. She flatly denied it and asked me not to talk about it anymore. More things happened. My mom and Jennifer's outings increased and tended to last longer, and the times my mother couldn't see Jennifer, she got a little sad. But something happened at the end of November. A person we know left his girlfriend for another guy. As soon as we found out, my mother talked about it privately, declaring how that was possible. What example was that for the children? That she would never have a relationship like that, and basically saying bad things about LGBT people. Hearing her say this made me a little sad for her situation because clearly my mother had feelings for Jennifer, but she didn't seem to want to accept it. 4 days ago, I went out with friends to watch a movie. My mom was going to be home because it was her day off. I told her that I would be arriving nearby in the evening, but things happened and I had to return home early. When we arrived, my mother's car was not there. So I just went to my room and played some video games. Shortly after, I saw her arrive with Jennifer. I heard some strange sounds, took off my headphones, and walked down to the stairs carefully, and I saw my mom and Jennifer hugging each other. I saw that my mom was sobbing. They both moved away, and then my mom kissed Jennifer, and she did the same. I returned to my room being very careful not to make any noise. 5 minutes passed, and I heard them leaving. They both kissed again and got into the car together. And in case you were wondering, I had all the lights in my room off. The only thing that was on was my computer. About an hour passed, and they both returned with Walmart bags of paper, gift bags, and toys. My mother always gives toys to my nephew or the children's of her friends, and yes, they were for them. My mother and Jennifer greeted me, and between the three of us, we wrapped the toys with paper and others in the bags. When Jennifer left, I asked my mom, not directly, if something was going on between them. My mother got nervous and denied it completely. For now, my mom has not seen Jennifer because she went to spend the holidays with her family like us. At the moment, I can't feel happier for my mother. It seems like she's already admitted what she feels, but she hasn't told anyone. I'm going to try to tell her that I know by showing her all of my support and love, and that I don't care if she's actually gay. The only thing that matters to me is seeing her happy. I'm very happy to hear that. I was worried that this story might have a bit of a negative bend to it or something, but it's good to hear that this person is supportive. And I feel for that mother because I grew up in an area and a time where being anything but straight, it wasn't like, there weren't people like attacking us. It didn't feel too oppressive, but it also didn't feel okay. I come from a town that a lot of churches, a lot of old-fashioned thoughts, and so it was tough. And I'm just 40. Who knows where this person grew up and, what age they might be, but the further you go back, the less that stuff is accepted, and the harder it is to break out and accept yourself. I didn't accept myself as pansexual until I was 26, and I'd moved out of that town to a bigger city and had supportive friends who helped me to get to that spot and also get away from the church that I had been a part of. And it's really difficult for some of those people to shake that stuff. If this mom had grown up with that belief, just ground into her for who knows how many decades, it's going to take some time to shake it off. And I don't know what exactly the right way to approach them about that is, but I think this person's doing a great job, just showing all the support and love that you can. Story 2. Today I effed up by giving my friend's girlfriend underwear. Okay, so let me start off by saying that I'm 19 and a trans man. I've had no surgery nor no hormone treatments. I usually just wear a binder or heavy clothes. So I still have periods, and my whole life I've been taught to carry extra supplies on me. This includes underwear, so I do that. I buy packages of brand new panties and put them into little baggies with pads in them just to make my life easier. And because occasionally I give a package away to a friend who's in need. Due to an incident in high school where a friend of a different size bled through and was stuck waiting half an hour for her mother, I now carry pre-made packages with different sized panties that don't fit me. My friends in high school knew why, and the girls loved it. Some even gave me money to buy supplies like pain meds, pads, or their sizes. Now in university, I have 2 groups of friends, a group of guys and a group of gals. This is mostly because both groups do different things as hangouts, and, well, I enjoy both things. The guys don't enjoy shopping trips, and for the most part, the girls don't want to go to the arcade. So one day, a guy's girlfriend, let's call her Sasha, joins the girl group, and she knows I'm trans and everyone got along pretty well. And one day, my friend Emily sends me a text which was basically what we call an emergency text, or AKA, I'm in class, can't text long. The message was simply, Sasha, Building A, Floor 1. I left my class and ran over and could hear her crying. Sasha is pretty sensitive and her periods are bad. When I got there, I asked her if she bled through. She confirmed she had gone through one layer. I said, okay, now this is a weird question, but bear with me. What size do you wear? When she answered, I pulled out one of the packages and tossed it under the stall. When she finally got out of the stall, she thanked me, hugged me, and went back to class. I forgot about it after that until the guys sent a group text asking to meet up. I met up with them at lunch, and Sasha's boyfriend immediately said, why are you carrying around a crap ton of panties? I kind of paused for a moment and asked for clarification, and he told the guys how instead of calling Sasha's mom, I gave Sasha's panties like a weirdo. I explained the situation and why I had everything, and that some of these packages were for me. I reminded him that I'm transgender and still have a period myself. His response was that he got that part, but he doesn't see why I'm carrying around panties for his girlfriend. This is where I really effed up by saying I had packages for all the girls in the girl group. This further upset more guys who also had girlfriends in the girl group. I tried to explain that for 2 of them, Emily and Ashley, their parents dig through their bags and even remove stuff. I don't have that problem, and that for Janet, she has to carry around 3 books every day and has no room in her bag. Well, I only have a laptop and have room. Apparently this made things worse, and so now none of the guys are talking to me until I stop it. Apparently, they don't like that I know their size and what panties their girlfriends are wearing. The girls are also now peed at their boyfriends and are debating ways of attempting to fix this situation because they feel bad that I'm in the middle of this fight that they think should be between them and their boyfriends. Well, here's what you do. You just throw them a nice little insecurity parade. You can dance around and talk about how insecure they are about something that's none of their business. Seriously, why do they have such a problem with you having this, like, caring role among people who are dealing with periods. Something that these other guys are going to know nothing about. Like, they should be looking at this and going, wow, they're really taking care of each other. What a wonderful, nice thing. I wish we did that more. But no, they have to be like, no, how dare you? How dare you care for other people and provide them comfort in times of distress and everything? This is just, being so caring, it disgusts me. Get over yourself. Gah. Story 3. Am I the a-hole for telling my mother I will not invite my cousin to my birthday because of her habit? My 23 female mother, 51 female, is berating me for not wanting to invite my cousin, 24 female, to my birthday party. The thing is, my cousin and her boyfriend have this habit, kink really, and they do not stop sneaking off to have intercourse, sometimes semi-publicly, sometimes in public. I was invited to her birthday 6 months ago. It was a restaurant, and when they brought in the cake, they were nowhere to be found. My uncle, Mom's brother, and her father sent me to look for her, and I found them having intercourse in his car, in the middle of the parking lot, and she saw me and smiled and waved, laughing with her boyfriend. This was not the first time something like this happened, as I later found out that my uncle sent me because he didn't want to catch his daughter in the act again, and her friends already knew of this habit, so they refused to engage in their fantasies of being caught. I took my things and left, and my mother scolded me because she said my cousin was upset and embarrassed that I just left with a disgusted face, and that her friends backed me up. Some left too. I told my mom what happened, and she told me I should have endured to not cause a scene, but I told her that I'm a grown woman and I could have left even without a reason. Now, my birthday's in a week, and I made plans for a weekend out in my grandmother's beach house, and she has given me permission to use it and bring my friends. I sent out the invitations, and when my cousin found out because my uncle told her, having heard it from my mom, she was confused as to why she didn't receive one. I told her I love her, but I didn't want her there because my friends are bringing her boyfriends too, as am I, and I don't want them to have to endure her and her boyfriend's kink because it will make us uncomfortable. I told her it's one thing to have intercourse and it's another to engage other people in their intercourse lives without their consent. She was furious, saying that I was excluding her and that she would do it on my birthday, but I laughed and told her she did it on her own birthday, so I didn't believe her, and I would rather not risk her ruining my party. So she complained to my mom about it, and she tried to force me, and since I live on my own and pay my own bills, she couldn't. So she went to my grandmother to try and convince her to not let me use the house, but I had already told my Nona everything, and she dismissed her. So now my mom, my aunt, and my cousin are all bothering me about it. I think I have a right to invite whoever I want, but maybe I was too harsh. Me and my cousin were really close friends, but these past months I've been pulling away from her, and I feel a little bad. So, am I the a-hole? I mean, if you were really good friends, I feel like if you just told her, like, look, you can come, but you have to promise this won't happen, because if it does, we're not friends anymore. Like, I would just kind of like lay it out there like that, but to basically tell her like, nope, I caught you this once and now I'll never trust you again, it seems a little harsh. Like, granted, she did involve you in that without consent. That is not cool. You have a right to be angry about that, and you have a right not to invite her to a birthday party because of that. But if you are saying that she's a friend and stuff, people make mistakes. When it involves intercourse and stuff, though, I don't like it. It's crossing a line. Do whatever you want. I mean, obviously you will and have, but in this situation, for anyone going through this, I don't feel like you should feel guilty if you don't want to interact with them, because that is crossing a weird line. But I don't know. I personally would probably be like, okay, look, we're going to have a talk about this, and there are boundaries, and if you cross them again after we've now explicitly discussed it, there won't be a third time. Story 4. Ex-BFF refused to pay back loans, so I'm making them pay the IRS. Right before the pandemic hit, I had left an abusive relationship for good and moved back to my state to stay with one of my longtime BFFs to get back on my feet. This was someone who was like a sibling to me for 15 years. We went through the highs and deep lows in life by each other's side. Once everything was shut down, all my work, freelance, and side hustles dried up. It wasn't until summer that freelancers were included in all COVID relief and I was eligible for unemployment. The same time, my BFF was transferred to another state, but only for 1 year and then back. They weren't eligible for unemployment because they were still working remotely on reduced pay and hours, but they claimed they didn't have enough money for the move and their relocation package was only $500 to break a lease and move to a neighboring state in 30 days during a pandemic. Since I was planning to go with them, I lent what money I had to help with the cost of the move. Once we got to the new state, my friend needed a car to get back and forth from work instead of ride-sharing, so I lent them more money to lease a car. I started working underneath them because their company was short-staffed for the holidays, and I needed income. This is important because ex-BFF knew exactly what I made, a little over $11 an hour. Around this time, I brought up the loan, and they agreed to start paying it back in chunks. By the end of the year, they had only paid back $400 and told me they were getting a nice EOY bonus for how well the store performed and would be able to pay me back in full after the new year. We agreed March was the deadline. By February, I was asking if they'd gotten the said bonus. "Oh, I haven't gotten it yet, I'll let you know." Meanwhile, they had been dating someone toxic as F and were never around and started being distant via text with me and other mutuals. March arrives, ex-BFF informs me they'll be transferred back to their old store and we can move back to where we came from. Yay! And, I'll have to pay it back later because I have to pay off a bunch of credit debt, which was from a toxic ex they dated before the current one. Okay, fine, let's get out of one of the worst states in the country and we'll settle up. Later that month, a mutual friend was hanging out and ex-BFF told them about the move back, except they said, "I'm moving back," before quickly correcting it to, "We're moving back." April arrives, ex-BFF had to travel to an old store for a week to get work things settled. I catch them when they're back and ask about their plans. In rapid succession, they reveal they've completely screwed me. "I found a one-bedroom condo. I'm not taking any of the furniture. You can find a place for probably $1,000 per month. Oh, I'm ending the lease here 2 months early. You'll have to be out by June. You can keep working at the store here if you want." Long story short, I spent about a year couch surfing with friends in 4 different states. I was battling a deep depression over the horrible relationship I had left, the friendship I had been booted out of, the self-termination of another close friend, and the general crap show of life after COVID hit. It was a terrible time, and I felt incredibly stupid that I let myself become homeless by trusting the wrong people in my life. After several attempts in writing to ex-BFF for repayment, I considered small claims, wrote up a demand letter, and organized all the paperwork. All their social accounts immediately went private. After a month of no response, I considered the time and money it would require to recoup my losses, neither of which I have much of, so I decided this doesn't have to be my problem anymore. They've been sent a 1099-C for cancellation of debt. They don't want to pay me? Fine. They can pay the IRS since they kept my loan as income. I have all the receipts I need to prove the loan and repayment terms, and they know that too. Have you ever heard folks say that you don't loan money to friends or family? This is why. I mean, I don't think that is like a hard rule. I think there are plenty of times where you can. I've loaned money to friends and family. But I also live by the rule, don't loan any money that you can't live without getting paid back. Any money that I've ever given out, it's like, look, if you can pay me back, that's wonderful. And if not, then that money is there because I care about you. But boy, when it's money that you kind of need to get back and it can create tensions. I'm not saying that the money caused the rift, because it sounds like this ex-BFF was pulling some crap on a whole different level, and good for this person for doing what they did. I feel bad for what they had to go through, and I support the actions that they have taken. But otherwise, folks, just be careful when lending out money. It is, in many situations, just going to put a lot of undue stress on your relationship. Story 5. My girlfriend hit my best friend's wife. So I'll give some backstory here because there was already tension prior to this incident. I and my best friend have been best friends for over 20 years. We're now 28 and 27. He doesn't like sharing any of his business. This also applied when he started dating his now wife, 26. I didn't even know until they had officially become a couple, and I hadn't met her until after their 1-year anniversary. Best friend asked me not to tell my girlfriend about his because my girlfriend is pretty talkative and would have told others. I didn't see a problem with this, as my best friend and girlfriend don't really talk much, and me and my girlfriend never talk about him. About 3 years ago, my best friend posted about his 3-year anniversary with his girlfriend, and all of our friends were shocked as none of them knew he was seeing anyone. My girlfriend got upset with me for knowing this information and keeping it a secret from her. We had a fight but resolved it. I've suggested double dates since, but she has never been interested. She didn't even come to my best friend's wedding. Fast forward to now. Our friend group always takes a vacation every year. My best friend's wife has never come, so all of our friends only met her at the wedding. This year, we were set to go skiing. Some things happened and we couldn't make it our original destination, so we ended up coming to my best friend's house. Everyone was excited because they get to see best friend's wife. While at the house, I got really sick from the food we had at the airport. I had stomach aches and the worst headache humanly possible. Best friend's wife is one of those herbal medicine people, so she made me some tea and did some trick with pulling my hair to relieve the headache, which worked instantly. She had made dinner. My girlfriend refused to eat and insisted she wasn't hungry. Cool. We complimented the cooking and went to sleep early. My girlfriend had refused to talk to best friend's wife and had been upset this entire trip. She had been mocking best friend's wife's accent, she's from the Congo, and we talked about it and she finally stopped. The last pair of people we had been waiting for arrived super late last night, so together we hung out at the house and had dinner together. There had been a lot of attention on best friend's wife, as no one really knows her. My girlfriend got angry and started mocking her accent in front of everyone. Best friend glared at me and it got really awkward. I spoke with girlfriend outside and she started crying really loud and backed on some plant stand and accidentally knocked it over, which made a noise. Best friend's wife came to check up, and before I knew it, my girlfriend punched her face and she started crying. My best friend came to this and now wants my girlfriend gone in the morning. With the holidays, no nice hotels near us are available. Girlfriend doesn't care and is sleeping on the couch. I've apologized to my friend and his wife several times, but I'm completely peed at my girlfriend. She doesn't normally act like this. She hasn't been clear in her feelings or thoughts leading up to now. This is definitely going to have a dent in my friendship. I don't know what's more to do here. Edit. For everyone saying there is more to the story, no, there really isn't. This is as much as I know. That's why I'm really clueless about what to do here. Also, the reason we didn't leave immediately last night is because we drove up here with 2 other people. Wouldn't be fair to them. What the heck is wrong with... What is your girlfriend doing? Why is she punching someone? Why is she mocking her? Like, I get being maybe like mildly kind of offended, like, wait, he's been dating someone for 3 years and you never thought to mention it? But at the same time, the moment this person said, like, he told me not to tell, he didn't want to make it public, I would have been like, huh, that's kind of weird, but okay, and moved on. Why are you taking such offense to this? Why are you getting so upset and then mocking this person's accent and then punching them when you break their plant? Well, there has to be more to this story. I'm sorry, because if there's not more to this story, then it just sounds like your girlfriend might be, I don't know if it's necessarily racist or a bigot or what towards people from the Congo or what. I don't know, but she does not sound to be in the right at all. And this is maybe worth you kind of examining how you feel about that whole relationship, because what the hell? Please leave your story in the comments. I would love to make a video on them in the future. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe.